Good morning. For all who are here with us at our headquarters, as well as you who are able to join us online, welcome to the World Messianic Church of America, Miracle Association headquarters, monthly appreciation service. We have gathered today to express our gratitude to God and Meixo Sama for the protection, help, and countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask permission to serve the divine plan throughout this coming month. We will begin our service today with the presentation of offerings to God. Please remain seated and pray along silently before we open in prayer.
Great God of light, with our deepest respect, we have gathered here at the World Messianic Church of America Miroku Association headquarters to celebrate our monthly appreciation service. We humbly offer you our prayers of praise, appreciation for protection, help, and the countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask for permission, guidance, and inspiration to serve in your divine work of the construction of paradise on earth. Please accept the materialization of our gratitude through our in-person and virtual presence, our monetary offerings, and by guiding our relatives and friends. Please give us the strength and wisdom to practice this year's guidelines in our everyday life. Helping others dedicate themselves to the construction of paradise on earth through our practice of faith is the path to our salvation. May we receive greater light and spiritual strength to realize Meishu Sama's ideals in our hearts, our homes, and our communities, so we become effective instruments of your divine light to bring happiness to everyone around us. May the new age of happiness and everlasting peace, where love, goodwill, and understanding prevail, soon become a reality.
Please join us for the Ama Sonorito, the Prayer of Heaven, found in your prayer book, page 11, followed by the Miracle Prayer, page 13.
Taka amahara ni kamuzumarimasu. Kamuro ni kamuro mi no mikoto mochite. Sume ni oya kamu isanagi no mikoto. Tsukushi no himuka no tachihana no. Odo no ahagi harani, misogi harai tamo, toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono okami tachi, moro moro no managoto surike gare o. Harai dama 清めたまえと回すことのよしを余す神国つかみやおよろずの神たちともに雨の節駒の耳振り立ててひこしめせとかしこみも回す
弥勒大神
守りたまえ先生えたまえ弥勒大神守りたまえ先生えたまえ
教えみよや主の神
守りたまえ先生えたまえ教えみよや主の神守りたまえ先生えたまえ
アンマガラタ
魂あえませ
Great God of light, creator and giver of all life.
In accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving joy. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu Sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives.
Great God of light,
Bless and protect us, radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group jury. Jury is now concluded. Let us listen to a teaching of Ignatius Sama. What is the World Messianic Church? The aim of the World Messianic Church is to establish paradise on earth by helping to create and promote a spiritual civilization that will develop alongside our present material civilization. Paradise on earth is the phrase I have used to describe a world free from disease, poverty, and conflict. A world that has long been the ideal of humanity. The age of miracle proclaimed by Shakyamuni Buddha, the kingdom of heaven foreseen by Jesus Christ, a world of serenity and peace dedicated by priest Nichiren, and the pedestal of nectar, the ideal concept declared by the founder of Tenrai-kyo Church, all means the same thing. The World Messianic Church differs from these foreseen realities only in terms of time, because the aforementioned pronouncements did not specify when such an ideal world will be realized. Yet, I have become aware of the fact that the time is close at hand. This means that the end of Buddhism prophesied by the Buddha and the age of judgment of which Jesus spoke are almost here. The truth is, however, that in order for an ideal world to be realized, the cleansing of the present world must first be accomplished. Just as an old house must be raised and the site cleared before a new house can be built. There will be a number of parts from the old structure that will still be usable and thus be spared, but that selection, of course, is up to God. To survive, human beings must become useful members of the new civilization. By doing so, we can surmount the challenges of this great change and pass God's test. This can only be achieved through true faith in God. To become individuals who are qualified to live in a world free from disease, poverty, and conflict, we necessarily should have attained true health, have overcome poverty, and embrace a peace-loving consciousness that is naturally averse to conflict. Those who possess these three qualities can be used by God as productive instruments in the new civilization. I firmly believe that humanity's ideals are in harmony with God's will. The World Messianic Church is endeavoring to help as many people as possible to understand and follow our teachings so that may become qualified to live in the daylight age and receive God's limitless blessings. Let's have greetings from the president of Miracle Association, Reverend Marco Negrão.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Those who are here present at our headquarters and also those joining us online. First, I want to express my heartfelt gratitude for all your support last year in so many ways, introducing people, family, friends, co-workers, neighbors to Jode, guiding them to receive the Ohikari, and so also the donations of gratitude. This is what keeps our missionary efforts possible.
Wow! I mean.
Also, we on a daily basis, we are praying for world peace, for the victims of wars, of natural disasters, as well as man-made disasters and accidents. So we did this all of last year, and so this year, 2026, I count on your equal support for our activities, for the practice of faith, and also please pray daily. All those prayers are so much important. This year we have guidelines that they were created the opening prayer. It goes like this: helping others dedicate themselves to the construction of paradise on earth through our practice of faith, the path to our salvation. So our practice of faith encompasses many things, right? First and foremost is the practice of Jode. We do prayer services, daily basis, monthly services. We pray for our ancestors. We engage in art and beauty activities. We try to engage in nature farming, home gardening. All these are part of our practice of faith. Not limited to this, but are part of the practice. Studying the Meisama stages is also part of the practice of faith. In today's teaching, Meisama states the following: to become individuals who are qualified to live in a world free from disease, poverty, and conflict, we necessarily should have attained true health, have overcome poverty, and embrace the peace-loving consciousness that is naturally adverse to conflict. Those who possess these three qualities can be used by God as productive instruments in the new civilization. I firmly believe that humanity's ideals are in harmony with God's will. The World Messianic Church is endeavoring to help as many people as possible to understand and follow our teachings so that may become qualified to live in the daylight age and receive God's limitless blessings. In our church, we learned a very effective way to be productive instruments, as the teaching was saying, which can be done through the practice of Jure regularly. For us who have been practicing Jure for a while, we experience the wonders of how the divine light is channeled through our hands. The Jure method requires that we wear the Ohikari, sacred focal point, around our necks, not on our pockets or purses. This offers us protection from the invisible vibration of those we are channeling Jure to. The Jure recipient is also equally protected from our humane vibrations, because we don't want to pass our vibrations on to others. That's not the purpose. In a nutshell, just a pure light is transmitted and no human power or capability is required. That's why anyone can receive the Ohikari. We begin the Jure session by offering a simple prayer requesting permission to be utilized as a conduit for the divine light. While channeling, we aim to visualize the light passing through the person's spirit. It's not so easy as it appears because we focus many times on the physical issues that the recipient reports. Oh, I'm having this pain here in my elbow, I'm having a headache, or the way he or she looks and portray themselves. So this distracts us from in focusing and visualizing, oh no, I'm channeling to the spirit of this person, right? And the light is passing through the spirit. So this requires practice. Through its continued practice, we learn that the results will manifest according to time and permission commanded by God. Our only task is to raise our arms in a relaxed manner, so we don't interfere the flow of light with our human strength. This is also not so easy as it appears. It requires the training to be completely relaxed. So that's the ideal. I understand that at times we can't be that relaxed, especially when we are trying to help someone with a serious problem. A typical session lasts between 15 to 20 minutes. But for serious and life-threatening conditions, the more Jorei, the better. Incredible miracles occur when Jorei is channeled for several hours even, conditions permitting, of course. And having someone channeling Jorei to us for several hours is a true sign of love and dedication. And people will have that patience. They will rest, no, I have to do something, or I'm busy. So be that committed is not easy as well. When I was 11 years old, I suffered a serious injury on my right knee while at school. So my teacher took me to a local hospital for stitches to be applied in the wound. But because no proper cleansing was performed, in a matter of hours, my whole leg began swelling due to the infection. I had the serious risk of having to have my leg amputated. I was told to a family doctor. And this doctor became so upset with such medical malpractice that he said to my father, the doctor who treated your son is not worthy of the medical practice. If you are not going to sue or report him to the medical bureau, I will. So this doctor was a friend of the family. He was the director of the hospital that I was born. It's a kind of a well-known hospital in the city of São Paulo. This family doctor then made a small incision so that the impurity in my leg could be drained. Right after, I began receiving joy from my family as well from my minister and my many loving members. So I received many hours of joy. That's what truly saved my leg. My recovery was so fast and amazing that in just a week I was already playing soccer with my friends. So from the risk of having my leg amputated, right? A week passed and I was playing soccer with them. Of course, I was not playing as a regular kid. I was just doing my best, but it was amazing recovery. So this miracle inspired me to receive the Hikari. Prior to that, just my mother, my sisters were already Jorei members. I was not interested. I would go with them to the Jorei Center, but so that was a turning point in my life. And interestingly, about 15 years ago, I was called for jury duty in a court hearing in Queens, in New York. During the selection process for the jurors, I found myself in a room with some 30 individuals who were going to be interviewed by the lawyers, prosecution and defense lawyers. We were going to decide who would be selected for a case of medical malpractice. When they began explaining that was a knee-related case, I interrupted them, saying I saw myself unfit to be a juror in that case. They were flabbergasted. You didn't even let us explain the details about the case. and you're already speaking up. And then they directed me to talk in private outside the courtroom. Why do you think you are unfit to be a juror? I said, I myself was a victim of medical malpractice due to a poorly conducted knee surgery, so I will be biased. And while I was talking, I rolled up my pants to show this scar that I have in my right knee. And they said, yeah, that's right. You can't be a juror. What can we say, right? Go to the clerk window to get the documents that will release you from jury duty for the next 6 years. Yes. So this was very appropriate because I didn't want to interrupt my missionary activities. So I also realized that by accident at the age of 11, besides leading me to become a jury Ohikari recipient, also served me to be free from jury duty requirements. Right? So purification, whether physical, emotional, or financial, always serves a purpose, always. It cleanses our spiritual clouds and our blessings in disguise. Sometimes many years later that we may comprehend the reason God permitted them to occur. Still regarding our guidelines for this year, helping others dedicate themselves to the construction of paradise on earth through our practice of faith is the path to our salvation. So in order to help others, it is important to practice our faith with them. Merely explaining how to pray, how to channel Jode, how to enshrine the ancestors, how to help, for instance, in the liturgy, this does not suffice. Engaging with others requires love and patience. But the result is always enduring, like a child that learns by observing how the parents do things. New members can learn from us who have a little more miles on the road, so to speak, who have a little more experience. Remember, ministers are not the only ones qualified to explain how things are done in our church. You too can be an effective instrument in God's plan by sharing all that you have learned so far with those that are new here or those that you meet here. Providing jury assistance too to those undergoing purification is also vitally important. Like I was benefited, how many people those who gave jury to me when I was 11 years old that I was explaining, they came from far away to give me jury. It was not that they were immediate next door neighbors, for just to give me jury. So all this engagement, this manifestation of love is what opens the path to our own salvation. That kind of dedication. We have quite a few of our members living in outlying areas. We have now our Delva is in Minnesota, right? We have members in Atlanta. We have members in Arizona. We don't have jury centers. Even members nearby, very few members. Yet amazingly, these members are still very participative. They attend our services online. They abundantly offer their donations of gratitude. So that's the way that they are practicing the faith as well. I'm certain they too are opening the path of their own salvation because that's the best that they can. You cannot come here every service, right? Maybe once a year, and that's okay. So they are doing their best. Now, changing a little bit the subject, I would like to ask you, how many of you would like to have a house blessing this year? Okay, me too. So our ministers are committed to visit your home to channel joy to you and to those living in your dwellings. So this simple practice ensures that your home will be filled with light. This is also an excellent opportunity for you to invite someone new to Jure, a family member, a neighbor, a co-worker, a classmate, and so on. Jure being marvelous as is, it is a privilege to channel and receive it. Like the passage in our Miroku prayer that we just prayed today. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan and for the privilege of channeling and receiving Jure. Of the 8 billion inhabitants of our planet, Earth, there are perhaps 2 million or so of us with this splendid permission. Thus, let us expand this benefit to so many more individuals. An important note about receiving the visit of a minister or lay leader in your home. Don't delay the visit because you may feel, oh, your house is not clean enough or organized, right? And don't worry that you have to prepare food for this kind of visit. If you have a glass of water and a chair to sit, that's enough. Leave the pound de cake or cakes for other occasions, if that's the case, right? Who knows? Maybe after the minister's visit, you may finally receive the strength and energy you were longing for to clean your surroundings or organize that closet that keeps appearing in the back of your mind, right? Make your decision and schedule the home visit with your minister. Don't let second thoughts interfere with this opportunity. If you let time pass, by the time you finally decide, oh, now I can schedule a visit, the minister then may be unable to visit you due to other obligations and commitments. So act now, okay? 1985, my training to become a minister began, where I was asked to channel Jure all day long to study Meshama's teachings during our spare time and serving whatever we needed by our ministers and superiors. I enjoyed the schedule given to us, particularly because unlike other trainees from the past, we were not asked to engage in outreach activities. I will explain about that. I had 3 or 4 experiences as a youth leader where I knocked on doors of strangers. And because of my shyness, I had tremendous difficulty engaging in this kind of practice. A minister guiding the youth group reminded us about the law of the spiritual preceding the physical. He said, all homes that are meant to open the doors for you already exist in the spiritual realm. So our sole mission there was to find which one. So that gave us some more courage to do that, but it was not easy for me. And despite my shortcomings, I actually was able to enter in some people's homes in Channel Jure. But again, I had a tremendous difficulty doing this. But then in the beginning of January 1986, so exactly 40 years ago, a new phase of my ministerial training began. So every Saturday, my fellow trainees and I, we had to go door to door for 4 hours to see if you could channel Jure to a new person. And so I thought, oh, now my holiday, so to speak, was over. So I would have to face my demons. That means I would have to face my own difficulties. So my first Saturday when I went to this door to door, I was frozen. I sat in a park bench. I was staring at the sky. I was, oh my God, what am I going to do, right? And time was ticking. 1 hour, 2 hours, and I didn't have the courage to even knock in one single door. But then I thought, well, what happened? After these 4 hours, we would have to return to our headquarters, report to our minister the result of our efforts. And I was imagining, wow, the other trainees will report miracles, we will report this, and I will go there empty-handed. I have to do something. So I gather all strength I could to at least knock at one door. And I, to my surprise, was a man was a maybe he was in his mid 50s. He opened the door for me, received Jose, and what happened on those days, we didn't have flowers of light. Nowadays we have flowers of light, mini arrangements even, so that we can give, having something to give, right? I didn't have that. Flowers of light didn't exist in those days. They started kind of appearing in the early 90s. We didn't have leaflets or pamphlets to give. We had a book of faith experience that we had to try to sell to make matters more difficult, right? And I was carrying 10 with me, 10 books, and I couldn't give them away because we were trainees. We received a small allowance. If I would give the books, I would have to reimburse the church later on. So, so amazingly, I was able to give one today, and the man bought the book from me. So that wow, at least I had something positive to report, right? As I returned to the headquarters, I found out that almost all the other trainees had the same difficulty. Oh, you sat on the park bench too? You were there, kind of, oh, what I'm going to do, right? Because I don't know if you have ever done some similar thing. It's not that easy, right? We knock on a stranger's door, right? It is already something creates expectations, anxiety, and to talk about religion, and to talk about a religion that is unknown to the majority of people. So that's a challenge. So the following Saturdays, because every Saturday we had to do that, we're becoming more promising. So my level of confidence were increasing. But also I had to be creative because I was assigned, every trainee was assigned to a certain neighborhood in the city of São Paulo. The neighborhood I was assigned was close to downtown, which means they didn't have family homes. We're mostly buildings, apartment buildings. So to be more difficult even. So I was walking around, no house to knock on doors. But then this became my blessing in disguise because in these apartments that they have intercoms, instead of walking 2 blocks, just stopping in front of a building, I had 40 apartments, for instance, to be buzzing, right? In some of them, I also have to be creative because receptionists or security guards or building managers, they didn't want people to be soliciting. So sometimes I was hiding myself. I'm here offering a prayer. And this is so interesting because some people, not all apartments answered my calling. Some people, they came down from whatever floor they lived, and I heard you're offering a prayer. Where is the prayer? Maybe they thought, oh, I'm having a paper to give. And then I would explain, no, this prayer is actually is a prayer in action. Requires me to see it. Can I go to your apartment? Yeah, come. So can you imagine this happening today, right? People would not even answer so to let me in. So this was amazing. Of course, we were young, good looking, maybe. Try to be well dressed. People say, maybe this guy is inoffensive, right? So in 6 months, I could channel directly to 100 people. So that really, transformed me. That was part of the construction of my faith. And But I thought then, oh, now I'm totally confident to do this. No more issues. But I was wrong because then I went to Japan and the following happened. I was in this jewelry center called the Gujo Hachiman in the Gifu prefecture. I was there, and then a little before lunchtime, the center head, she was she told her, let's walk around the center so you can know a little more about our neighborhood here. Oh, sure. Because she said it is in a casual way, I didn't prepare myself for anything special. In Japan, if you're familiar with their customers, they have sleepers for everything in the home. For instance, you have a sleeper for walk around the house. You have a sleeper for the bathroom, and they also have a sleeper for walking outside in the garden, for instance. So at the center also they had this kind of slipper. So I didn't even brought my shoes. She said, no, it's just a walk nearby. So I was wearing those shoes. So, and I didn't take my documents with me either because I thought that was going to be something quick. But to my surprise, I noticed that she was carrying a paper bag with her. And then she told me, Uh, so I'm going to return to the center. You, Marco, you are going to do door to door here. Here's a bag with all these newsletters. I said it was a trap, right? She didn't tell me that it was. I don't know. Maybe she told me that my Japanese was so limited and I didn't understand. But I think she was really testing me. And I didn't pray at the altar to ask for protection because, to do this thing, we need to pray before, right? To be before, to be assisted from the spiritual realm. That didn't happen. So here again, I thought I was confident. Now I have to see. So in a different country, in a different language, right? But again, I was very blessed because the very first house that I rang the bell, a lady opened the door for me. I explained what jewelry was and said, yeah, but I have my elderly mother. She's ill. Can you do this prayer that you said you can do? I said, yes, yes. So I channeled jewelry to this woman and I had the newsletters, right? Offered the newsletter for her and she even made the donation for that. Oh, yes, right? So, but I had to do this for 3 hours because the center head said, you cannot return to the center until you finish your mission. Okay. So, but then every house after that, they didn't let me, and some even because of being a foreigner in Japan, they will open their sliding doors, look at me. No, no, didn't even let me speak. So I said, another lesson for me, that be humble. Now you felt that we were too confident, right? So here it is. Be humble and then you will be protected. Uh, Another thing I would like to mention today, uh, this is a prototype, okay? This is not anything close to what is going to be, but this will be teachings of Meishu Sama, Volume 1. So all this cover will be, the color will change, and this is just a sample. Sample. The interior, we have all the teachings, same order, same sequence as the teachings called Foundation of Paradise in Portuguese. That would be easy. Sometimes we have a Portuguese or Spanish, our Spanish members. And then, we read the teaching today. What's the equivalent in Portuguese or Spanish? So that will be accomplished. So we are to do a publication in a more professional way, there is a learning curve. So that's what we are doing to do in such a way that can become more affordable. Because if we just ask for a real publishing company, prices are quite high. So we are trying to do more like an in-house work, so that more of you, more members, can acquire these books. By the way, all these books also will be available in the e-book format, electronically. So we expect that by the end of this month, at least this volume one will be already launched. And since we are again mastering, learning how to do this properly, will be much easier than to launch volumes 2, 3, 4, and 5. So by the end of this year, we may have all these 5 volumes available, which is great news that I want to share with you. Another thing, we have a pilgrimage this year. The tentative dates are departing September 25th and returning from Japan October 6th. The ground expenses, they range in the about 3,500. So start making the preparations now. If you, in your job, for instance, you may have to schedule vacation, or you may have to talk to a family member, make arrangements, right, in order to do that. Mr. Nagase and I will be leading the pilgrimage with the Minister Terry Sato assisting us. And luck of this group, because with Minister Terry Sato, you can ensure to have proper, accurate translations, right? We require my translation, so it will be a so-so job, right? And why do we participate in pilgrimages? Requiring this amount of money, because the 3,500, like I said, is ground expenses only, plus air ticket. So we're talking about $5,000, right? It's a lot of money, right? Plus arranging 2 weeks of work, or having to convince a spouse or a significant one to let you go, kind of thing. It is not easy, right? But it is all worth it, right? Sylvia, Teresa just went last year recently, right? And Selma. So many have been there more than once, like Selma herself, right? So why the white people go once, and why do they go twice, 3 times even? Because all the benefit that we feel, the spiritual growth, the light. It is a period of training. It's not for doing any kind of a tour. Yeah, we may go to 1 or 2 places that have historical importance, or they are beautiful, but they are not necessarily church related. But most pilgrimage is for spiritual training. It's a religious pilgrimage, right? And it's a great opportunity for myself in particular as a minister. Sometimes during a pilgrimage, I have more time with, let's say, if it's a member here from New York or from Florida, from California, that I would ever have that chance. Even members here, right? I may see occasionally, like in a day of a service, but during a pilgrimage, 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, almost 2 weeks together. So we learn about each other, right? Share experiences. This is wonderful. So I really look forward for this pilgrimage and encourage your participation. And if you can't go for whatever reason, but get the feeling, right? Yeah, I cannot go this year, but I'm understanding how important it is. Then inspire someone, fellow member, or other that could join us as well. Last but not least, and I believe I have shared this before. This was one of Meishi Sama's teachings, that it is a warning to our members. That's even the title of the teaching. He was saying, unfortunately, many members, when they go to doctor clinics or in the hospital, and they have received a healing, a miracle through Jode. And the doctors are amazed, oh, how quickly have you recovered? Then the members don't say about Jode. It's almost like, oh, the nature took care of it. Because so many think, oh, I'm not qualified to explain what Jore is. Or they have this only, the doctor is not going to understand, right? It's about religion, and I don't want to mix things up. So maybe someone said, this is very unfortunate because someone said, the more doctors will learn about Jode, the word has to spread. Because some will be curious. How come this patient with the same treatment as patient A, who is a Jore member, healed very quickly? And person B has never heard about Jode, not so much. So at least if they really love their profession, they become curious, right? So the word Jode has to be around. So this is what makes someone ask. So if you, all of us, we have to go for checkups, we have to do some procedure here, there in a hospital or clinic, right? And doctors are curious. Wow, your healing was very fast. Don't waste time. Tell about Jode. Don't have to say anything else. Maybe say, Jode, give it our website, or you want more information. Here it is. And that's it. So simple, quick, but effective. Thank you very much for this service today, for your participation online and presential. I express my wish for your successful year this year, filled with health, harmony, prosperity for you and your loved ones. Have a blessed month and the engagement of our practice of faith as well. Thank you.
This concludes our service today. Thank you for joining us, and we wish you a blessed day.
Thank you very much.